Great. We're just going to jump right into it. Usually I like to screw around with chat for a little bit just to say hi to everyone. But I want to keep today's short and snappy as much as we can. Some quick notes, I guess, just to say hello to everybody. First of all, hello chat. Good to have you all. Thank you for coming to today's Q&A stream. I have with me today the founders of Tournament Arc, which is, well, I guess I'll let you all pitch your own game. I'm not gonna try to explain it. Tournament Arc is a board/card game, whatever you want to call it. A party game is how I think about it. And we're going to just be peppering. Yeah, there it is. Wait, actually, my caveat too. It's in the living room. You have to. Is that the like draft one without the colors?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. So I have Sky and Niall here, and I'll ask them to introduce themselves in a moment. But as a quick introduction for what today's stream is even about, just to explain the title a little more, I actually have been thinking about maybe launching my own Kickstarter for an idea that I had, and it led me down quite a deep rabbit hole of different Kickstarter strategies and like digital marketing techniques and social media marketing techniques. And then I got very overwhelmed, and I was like, let me just go ask the people who I know personally had a very successful Kickstarter. And so that's the two wonderful people you see above me. So I dragged them on stream, and that's why we're here today. But I'm going to some quick housekeeping notes before we dive right in. Obviously we have chat may be pretty quiet, in which case you can drop questions directly in chat and I probably won't miss them. I do also have a list of questions that I already have prepared on the side that I will be going through, but if anyone has additional questions that they want to ask that I may not have considered, I have a pinned Twitter thread in chat that you can use to drop your questions under, and if you don't use Twitter, then you can just drop it in chat and I'll do my best to like make sure I don't miss them. Okay, I think that is pretty much it. I will ask for our guests here to give us a self-introduction, please.
Hi. May I go first?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
I'm Sky. I am the designer and artist behind Tournament Arc, which I should keep holding up, actually. This is our board game Tournament Arc.
So
it is a sports anime-themed party card game. We'll get more into it, exactly what it is in just a bit. But yeah, the game is mostly my idea, and the art is all mine.
And I'm Niall. Sky and I are married. We're a couple, and we made this together. Definitely original idea, all the character designs, all the art. Sky did an incredible job. I just did a little bit of helping with brainstorming here and there for different things.
Played a big hand in the design as well,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair. I helped a little bit, but core design and everything's all Sky. So I work more on the production side. So more so, how do we actually make this a real thing that people can have? And also handling just everything from the business side. So I've been learning a lot outside of my primary day job over the last few years, and really excited to be here today to talk about Tournament Arc.
Awesome. I should also ask for a quick explainer of like what is the game, what is Tournament Arc, and also the story of how it came into being from idea to creation.
Okay. So I think I'll explain what it is through the story of how it came to be.
Sure.
Which was in like 2016 or so. My little brother and my dad were watching a lot of sports anime back to back, and they had me watch with them, and I definitely watched a few, not as many as they did. But as we were watching, I kept thinking about the idea of like, oh, I would love a sports anime which follows like every team in a tournament where there is no like one main character team. So like fans online are like trying to figure out who's going to win the whole thing, or you've got different fans for different teams, and I feel like people get really invested into something like that. But I can't make an animated show on my own. I'm just me. But I could make a board game, and so I ended up taking that idea and just writing down in a document on my computer just the mechanics of a board game based on that, where each player is a coach, and each coach is coaching a team of student athletes for the big game at the end of the season. And I wrote it down, I wrote out a bunch of example cards, and then I was like, well, let me look into what it takes to make a board game. And I looked into that, and I was like, wow, that's too much, and so I never did anything with it.
That's relatable. So, that's what I'm going through right now.
Thank you. Years later, we live together now. We've met at this point. We're a couple, and we're visiting my parents, and we're looking for something to do. And I was like, oh, I have this old board game idea, this card game that I'd written down years ago. Let me go quickly draw up some index cards of that, and we'll play a few rounds, see if it actually works. And so I spent like an hour drawing a handful of index cards for the game, and then we played. And I mean, you can take over at this point, but everyone was like, this is really good. You should make this a game. If you'd like to add on any.
Yeah, no, it was really good. So it was like 20 cards. It was really simple, just very quick prototype. But there was so much charm and fun in the gameplay itself. I was just like, hey, Sky, we need to make this real. And so then the birthday party.
Yeah, so the next weekend we were having some of our friends in from out of state for a birthday party for me. And everyone was sleeping over, and we were like, okay, we need to get this game ready to go for a larger group in 5 days or so. And so I spent about 48 hours, over the course of which I designed and drew all 150 cards that are in the game. And there have been some tweaks and changes all throughout. Oh yes, Niall has the Doodle edition, which is all the original art for the game here.
Can I buy that, by the way? Like, is it for sale? Can you buy the Doodle-only version?
Yeah.
I love
and so I drew the index card version of the game. And it was a big hit with our friends. And so everyone was like, you need to make a game studio and start making this board game. We were like, yeah, all right, we'll do that. Which has been a huge multi-year journey. When was this? This was like January 2022.
I think so. Something like that, yeah.
So we started working on it in January 2022 with that prototype. And so the game has changed a bit here and there. It's gotten a little bit more, not complicated, but it's gotten a little bit more detailed. There's more of...
It's refined.
It's been refined.
Yeah.
But the game is played in a couple phases. I've got just like a diagram on the back here.
Yeah, I stole the diagrams off of your Kickstarter campaign when I was making the short to promote the Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Beautiful diagrams, by the way. Clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, actually, I'll mention one other thing is it is primarily just us two, but we do have a friend.
No, we have a third member of the team.
Oh, right, but our friend Avery is the graphic designer who did the logo, which is incredible.
Is Avery Helm in chat? Is the same Avery?
Oh, wait, check the chat.
Oh my goodness, let me check right now.
Avery said, hi besties, heart emoji, and then Sky is a beast.
A lot of the graphics for our Kickstarter, Avery did the templates for the cards, the logo for the game, all the backs of the cards and stuff like that, a bunch of stuff in our rule book as well. Because I can do character design, I cannot do graphic design to save my life, and so it's been a huge help having Avery.
I was actually wondering, I thought it was Niall or someone had been doing all the graphic design, and I was like, that's insane.
We split like half and half maybe. So for the game itself, Avery did like all the graphic design there. For the things that you might see on social media and online, for the most part, I would usually do those. Kickstarter page, we split maybe about half and half for the graphics.
And then booklet is Avery as well.
Booklet graphic design is Avery, yes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So like marketing basically was more Niall, and then game experience was more.
Yeah, I think that's
okay. I see. Okay. I was like, the graphic design on this is like shockingly professional, and like this does not look like someone's first board game that they're designing. It doesn't have that vibe at all. All right, let's do a quick icebreaker question so everyone can get to know you all a little bit better, and then we'll jump right into the actual questions. So can you both tell me about your current #1 top anime/game obsession? No embarrassing answers exist. You may say even the most cringe stuff that is on mind right now.
Do you want to follow that up? Because I feel like yours...
You go first.
I've been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza lately, and it's been extremely fun. It's just to lean into the game side, because I have a feeling Niall's going to go into the anime side.
Wait, what game was that? Could you say it again?
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Oh,
the big new Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
It's really fun. I like being a big monkey and smashing stuff. It's a good time, as advertised on the box.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke. It works.
I would say it's really good stress relief as well. Like, Sky will just let me loose on a level and I'll clear it out. Like, I will demolish everything.
Niall, yeah. We've seen YouTube thumbnails for videos that are like, here's why you shouldn't waste your time destroying the whole level in Donkey Kong Bonanza. And Niall will just do that for a couple hours to relax after a hard day of work. It's delightful.
It is nice.
So you're...
Sure. So I guess, like, funny answer is we recently watched a more, I guess, niche sports anime. Called Keijo, but it is unique, and it was very.
That's one way to put it.
But it was very fun. So, like, if you're old enough and are interested in just having a silly, fun time, I would recommend it as like a fun, silly watch.
It's very absurd.
It is very absurd.
They take it seriously, which I appreciate.
That's actually the most ringing endorsement of Keijo that I've heard so far. I actually feel convinced to go watch it now.
It was a lot of times, but it was actually very funny.
It's not going to blow your socks off. I'll say that much. It still is like a middle of the pack school anime, but every episode has like 2 or 3 moments that had us like, oh no, what's happening? Why are they doing this in a very fun way?
Yeah.
And so we enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think we all need some forms of media, whether that's I guess Donkey Kong also kind of qualifies, where you just want to turn your brain off and like relax for a bit. And I think dumb shit media is really good for that. I was really, my thing is the vending machine isekai anime. So stupid. I love it so much. And there's a season 2 that's airing right now, and I'm like, life is good. Everything will be okay because vending machine anime is airing. Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for the self-introductions and for telling us the story of Tournament Arc. And also congratulations. I will start there. Congratulations on the Kickstarter. That's the whole reason I dragged you all on stream, is because I was like, damn, that went really well. Tell me your secrets. So to recap numbers for everyone in chat, the Kickstarter was so successful. So the target was $5,000, and then you all raised, I think it was almost $70,000 by the time the campaign concluded. So that's like, what, 12x the original goal, which is insane. And so I have a lot of questions about that, but I wanted to start with, first of all, like why you would go with crowdfunding. I've had a very short stint in the gaming industry now as well, and I guess one of the things I learned was that there's a variety of ways people fund their projects, and for the longest time I thought crowdfunding was like the only way indie projects might be able to come into existence. I realize now there's a lot of other options, and so I'm curious how you all came to that decision.
First, when we were figuring things out, we're just like, okay, how much it cost to make a board game? And then I looked it up, and I'm like, a lot. Like you can go for a lower cost, kind of like if you want to do a small run, and just print it out for like family and friends, that's a lot more doable. But if you want to have something available in stores, that's a bit more of a process, and you want to create a lot at once. So in order to hit like a minimum order quantity for different manufacturers, you do need to put upfront quite a bit of money. So we were thinking, okay, our options are we save up and just use our own personal savings, which is kind of what we had been doing for a while.
That was out pretty quickly.
Yeah, but we're like, for an actual full run, we probably don't want to just like dig into our savings. And so then we're just like, okay, what else is there? There's like grants, there's fellowships for like small businesses or for like different people in the board game or gaming industry, like different programs you can apply for. So we actually did apply for quite a few things for a while. We never really quite got any grants, but we did end up getting essentially a runner-up for a particular fellowship. So there's something called the Game Manufacturers of America, or like GAMA Association.
Is that for like physical games, it sounds like? Is it manufacturers? Yes. I see, okay.
It is. So it's like a big society for tabletop game like publishers and developers, and retailers as well. And so we actually kind of got like a runner-up fellowship for that. So I am able to connect to the community and get access to certain resources, but I wasn't able to get the full fellowship experience. But that was helpful for getting information.
Mm-hmm.
May I just jump in for a second?
Yes.
One other thing that we decided right away is we wanted full creative control of the game, and so that's why we didn't go to bigger companies and try to like sell them the idea or pitch it to them or anything like that.
Thank you. That's a key thing. So there's kind of two major routes. It's either self-publishing or like working with the publisher to get your game out there.
Yeah.
And depending on the publisher, kind of the level of creative freedom will vary. But ultimately, we wanted to like own the process because there's a lot of ways we could see this like going wrong with like publishers that don't quite understand like the source inspiration or audience. And so we're like, no, we're gonna do the extra effort to like do this ourselves. Yeah. And so, go ahead.
I was gonna say it is explicitly like a very colorful, family-friendly, and queer game, and I feel like especially with the way everything is right now,
the way the world is going.
If you sold the right to it to a publisher in 2022, that now in 2025 it would be a completely different game. It would be nothing that we had wanted out of it.
Yeah. And so, just recapping real quick in terms of ways to kind of fund making a game like this. So self-funding through like your savings or whatever, grants and fellowships, loans as well is another thing you can do. So like for any sort of small business that's starting out, technically this is a business, you could go with a loan. But of course then there's the downsides of that as well. So crowdfunding was something that we felt was like a nice path, because that also allows us to connect to an audience as well. Because if we just shadow drop this, no one knows what it is, then like we'd have to do a lot of additional effort for the marketing beyond what we already did.
Like you have to market the Kickstarter, but in a way, the Kickstarter itself is itself also marketing. So,
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I hadn't ever thought of the Kickstarter as a marketing tool before, actually. So that's always an interesting take. I feel like it's like the way I thought about it until now was marketing's destination is the Kickstarter, right? Because that's the funding source. So that's the product or the point of purchase, I guess, for the product. But actually, Kickstarter itself, it seems like something I also didn't realize is that Kickstarter itself has a very healthy community, and a lot of people are on the platform looking for these kinds of games that they want to fund. So I guess that's a very unique viewpoint, or I guess it's a fresh viewpoint for me. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Well, we did talk a little bit about like how there's a really high cost for production, especially for like MOQ for mass production. So you set a goal originally for 5K. And then had a bunch of stretch goals, right? As every Kickstarter does. How do you determine, like in the long list of goals you could set, at what point is the correct threshold for the Kickstarter goal? I guess the one thing to keep in mind with Kickstarter, right, is that if you're not fully funded by your goal, then you don't get anything. And so I assume that on Kickstarter, then people generally set their goals a little bit, but I guess you would still have to hit MOQ. So then like how did that calculus look like in your heads?
So it's exactly as you mentioned, there's a lot of different factors, and it is common practice, at least within like the board game industry, when you're on Kickstarter, to kind of set your goal a little bit lower than what you actually need. Because one of the key things is if you don't hit your goal in Kickstarter, you don't get any money at all. And if you don't reach your goal relatively quickly, any Kickstarter campaign, the biggest traffic that you get is at the very beginning and the very end. So if you don't do well in the first couple of days, it's going for any campaign, it's just going to stagnate in the middle. And if you're far from your goal in the beginning, it's going to be hard to catch up towards the end.
So the initial push like matters a lot, basically, for the rest of the run also. Okay.
Yep. So it's not like not to say you can't be successful without funding within the first couple of days, but typically big success is usually you can see the signs within the first like day or two.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like a League of Legends game. Like the first 5% determines the rest of it.
It also, it's funny, very cyclical in this way, where if you're doing well, it's easier to do better. Where
it snowballs,
funding quickly, we hit our 5K goal in 15 minutes upon putting it up. And so then we can say, fund it in 15 minutes on everything. And that drew a lot more people to the campaign.
Yeah, so it's kind of a weird like marketing psychology kind of thing. But like if you see something successful, you're more likely to continue to like back it because it's social proof that like other people believe this is actually like good quality or like XYZ. And so like if it seems to be struggling, then people might think like, oh, why is it struggling? And then kind of just like not feel excited to contribute.
Like wisdom of crowd style. I trust everyone else's judgment of this before me. When you read reviews, I guess it's the same thing. Like if something has a 3.3 star, you're not going to like it as much as the 4.5 or whatever.
Exactly. Which is like an unfortunate like reality because like we'd love for people like ourselves included to just like see something regardless of how well it's doing and be like, that's cool. I'm going to support it. And we do try to do that just in general.
Yeah.
But from like a general marketing standpoint, that social proof is pretty important and really powerful.
That's very true. Oh, social proof being the phrase you use there, I think resonates too. Interesting. Okay, so then I guess the natural next question then is how did you get it so that it would hit that 5K goal as quickly as possible within the first day or two? Like what were the preparation steps you took to build up hype to get there?
A lot. So with that one, should we just go into all the details here, or do we want to do like some of the other like?
We can go ahead and dive on that if I feel like it's like that's what I'm stuck on right now in my head. I'm like, wait, so then how did you do it? Like 16 hours is crazy. I know. Well, so I remember we met up for dinner once and then I got to play like a somewhat early version of the game, like a preprint, and some of the cards were still in doodle form and not all of them had colors. But that, like, I assume you were doing test plays like that with like a lot of your personal network, but your personal network can only go so far. So then how do you expand hype beyond your sort of close circles?
So a lot of what you're saying, and we just extended that outside of our personal network, like for well over a year before the Kickstarter, we were going to conventions, we were going to card game shops, we were going to other conventions. We were getting as many strangers to play the game as we could. We would get tables in like the unpublished section of a board game convention and be running the game for anyone who came by. And so we were able to get a lot of eyes and hands on the game from people we did not know for a long time leading up to the Kickstarter. And at first, in our heads, this was like, oh, we are playtesting the game. We're making sure it's a good game. We're making tweaks to the game.
Right, it wasn't like marketing in your head. It was playtesting, which is different. Okay.
Yeah, and then as it was going on, it's like, okay, no, this is also marketing. Like, we are also getting, like, people were getting really interested in the game. I think we had a good turnout right away. Like, right away, people enjoyed the game. But I think after we started making some of those tweaks from people playing it, people were really liking it, and so that gave us a lot more confidence in that regard.
Yeah, and actually, so that ties nicely into like how do we start to build up the audience? So you can only meet so many people in conventions and expos. I mean, quite a few depending on what you're going to. But when it comes to playing a game takes time. It's not just going up to a table saying like just going up to someone and being like, "Hey, I love your art. I'm going to buy a piece of your art," and the interaction might be a couple of minutes. Maximum. It's not going to spend 15 to 45 minutes. So because playing a game does take a little bit of time, we probably don't have as much interaction with people as like if you had a faster turnaround for interaction. So every single time we were interacting with people, though, they were building memories with playing the game.
Right.
Sure, actually grab the.
I'll be right back.
Those were like deeper connections you were forming with like a smaller, more tight knit group of people. Yeah.
Exactly, and people are really supportive just off the bat. And someone actually at the first convention we went to asked "Oh, do you have a Kickstarter page up?" I'm like, "No, we don't." I'm like, you should get a reserve your page, have a pre-launch page.
Oh, so you can. Oh, you have a pre-launch Kickstarter page, so then you can point people there. Oh, is there a time limit on that?
No, so luckily you can just. As long as you have the page decently filled, it doesn't have to be finalized at all. You just need to prove to Kickstarter that this is something you actually plan to do.
And then people can bookmark it so that they'll be notified when it goes live.
Yes.
I guess.
So we started to create that in our own website, and a mailing list is the main thing.
Yes.
Yeah, mailing list is truly so important. So true.
And so at these conventions, after the first convention we went to, we had all this ready. And we had made up a bunch
I still have my medal. Where did I put it? It's here somewhere.
Which are actual metal. These are heavier than you think. And on the back is a QR code that took people to our mailing list, to our Kickstarter pre-launch page, and our social medias and all that. So that was really, really helpful.
And so that was
Niall's idea.
Thank you. So that was also another piece of marketing. It's okay, people get freebies at conventions and stuff,
stickers,
which is all cool and great. But what can we do that's unique to our game that's memorable? Sports medals are cool. What if people wore them, then they're kind of just advertising the game as they walk around the convention? And that actually has worked.
I have my friends actually, after I posted the short to help promote your Kickstarter, I had a friend reach out and she was like, I'm actually posted, I didn't know you were friends with Niall. I and posted on their page, and I was like, what? And I went to your page and looked, and she was part of there was a group of body improvement club for Mob Psycho cosplayers, and they had played at your table, and she had won the medal, and so it was a photo of her I think biting the medal or holding it or something like that. So cute. And this was a friend who I know from totally different social circles, and it was shocking to me that was, I guess that's the testament to how far your reach was able to go through conventions, right? You hit the audience you needed to hit. I do have a question here from Samius about showing up at cons with the game. I'm guessing it depends on the convention, but do you have to book a table beforehand? Is there just an open playtest area for unpublished games that you can show up at, or?
It depends for each convention. So I would recommend looking ahead of time to see if you need to apply for anything. Because sometimes there could be vendor spots, and vendor spots usually cost money. But sometimes there's also open spots that are free. Sometimes if it's a small convention especially, they're just bring your thing into the unpub section. It's free, or it's $5 or $10 to register. They just have a space for a certain amount of time.
Or there will be a free play area where you can just grab a table.
Okay, so that's also common for smaller cons, it sounds like.
Yes.
That's cute.
If you're doing if you just want to get a few play tests, then the free play tables work really well. If you are trying to advertise your game, if you're trying to get as many eyes on it as possible, people will often go to a free play section with a group of friends in mind to play a specific game. They aren't looking for a table of a stranger being hey, come play this game with me.
Yeah.
I've experienced a lot of that now, so that's some advice I would give.
Yeah.
We're actually doing Anime NYC very soon, and so that is another one where we have a booth, and we've gotten the booth that we're going to have people playing at the table at our booth.
Yes, and that's actually the photo that you saw of your friend in the body.
Oh, that was ANYC? Oh my god, that's like a whole year ago now then. That's
Yes.
impressive. Okay. Wow, you guys really were what was the timeline on that? Like the pre-campaign period, would you say?
So we started the Kickstarter pre-launch page and mailing list, I think in like July or August last year. And then we launched our Kickstarter.
Earlier,
we had our website earlier than that, but I think the mailing list was like July. Actually, no, Rex, we had June events.
It was earlier. We had June events. We had a early spring event called Long Island Tabletop Gaming Expo, which was the first time we had brought Tournament Arc anywhere, and that was in like March or April of 2023.
Yes.
A year after we started working on the game. And so that was the only time we didn't have the medals, and everything after that, we had the mailing list, we had the medals, we were ready for all.
Wait, that might have been 2024 actually, because we went for the second time this year, right?
It was in 2024.
Okay.
I can't remember anything. Right, we started working on the game in 2023 then.
Yes.
Numbers confuse me, and I'm...
Okay, but essentially we've been having the mailing list stuff maybe since like June of 2024.
Yeah.
And then we launched a Kickstarter in May this year.
It was about a year of...
That's almost a year building up. Yeah, that's actually so long. But I guess you also had like the actual print of the product ready by the time the Kickstarter went live.
By the Kickstarter was ready, yes.
Yes, just barely.
And was that all like you self-funded the first print then, it sounds like? Or
yes, so for the... So these are actually from the manufacturer we're planning on working with, but we had sample prints kind of like this. Actually, the first ones were in a clear white box. It was essentially like to Michael's.
Do you want to get that?
Sure, yeah.
All right,
we just grabbed, like,
I still remember when we played, it was like a blank white cardboard box that you just
yes,
yeah,
yes.
like it had spacers and stuff on it already, and you had said something like you were testing the packaging.
Yes,
but it was just a blank box. Yeah.
You guys grabbing it?
We put a sticker on it, so it says Tournament Arc now.
Okay. Oh yeah, we should the inside too.
Years have become weeks. It's true.
So we started off with like a blank box. We put we slapped a sticker on it, and the inside is just like we makeshift like put styrofoam together to like section off like the cards, but it's definitely not like a finalized product at all. But these cards we printed them using a prototyping service called BoardGamesMaker. BoardGamesMaker.com?
BoardGamesMaker.
BoardGamesMaker.
Board games plural, maker.com.
So it's really convenient. So I will say if you're planning on prototyping, like if you want to make any sort of tabletop game, and you just want to like test out like a copy for yourself, like that service is great.
Yeah.
It's going to cost quite a bit for like a small quantity order. So if you order one copy of your game, like for example, our game is 150 cards, like one token. Printing that would cost like $40 for like one copy.
It's 150 tarot-sized cards,
yes,
which I think makes it more expensive.
That's true. But it was like $40 for one copy, which isn't cheap, but that's much, much better than like trying to work with like a regular manufacturer for like a big order.
And it gives you something like robust to test with that people actually get a really good sense of what it'll feel like. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you just want to make a game for yourself to have, or like a few copies for family and friends, BoardGamesMaker is a pretty fantastic way to go about that.
Yeah. Or like a really cute like gift idea even for people who wanna is so I didn't realize it was so accessible. I'm looking at the website right now and it's like shocking.
And you can search through it and just see there's a lot of stuff on there, and they're really nice too. Like if you have, for example, files that they feel like, let's say you forgot to put the bleed in or something like that, they'll email you right away and be like, hey, sorry, we noticed that, this is whatever. Are you sure you don't want to, fix this up or whatever? So they're responsive. Good quality stuff. Like we've been happy with them.
They've been very helpful. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this is a great tip. Thank you for the resource. All right. So thanks for all of the tips, I guess, or guidance on what that pre-campaign period looked like. I think it's actually a really good wake-up call for a lot of us who have our head in this like pie in the sky headspace right now of like, well, we're running a Kickstarter for my own project. Look like it's grounding. It's like, okay, you actually have to put in a lot of effort to build up momentum towards the launch. Like the launch itself cannot be your actual kickoff. You need to be kicking off before then for sure. That's a good lesson to learn. I want to go back to the stretch goals question a little bit more just to wrap up that thought. I know we were talking about like 5K to 70K is a huge gap, right? And so you had a lot of stretch goals to populate all the way up into the impossible numbers. But what do you have, I guess, tips, guidance, personal experience about what setting those goals, or like how you went about setting those goals, what the spacing was, how you involved the audience in, like, because I know some of them are like open selection type things, or you can have the audience vote on things. How do you design those stretch goals, and how do you know that they are reasonable Did you have a sense also of like roughly how much you were likely to hit versus how much was probably out of reach?
Yes. So starting with the reasonable point, we wanted to make sure for our stretch goals at least that adding them in wouldn't put us under. It's not like we add the cool new thing that's a cool stretch goal where technically that's enough money to handle it, but then logistics get like so complicated or end up costing so much that we like end up like not being able to properly use the money to make the game.
Right.
We wanted to do a plush at first. We wanted to have a Mr. Bear plush. And
Plushy margins are.
Yeah.
As soon as we were like really looking at what it would take to make that happen, we were like, ooh, what about pins? What if we get pins instead?
So that's why all of our stretch goals are fairly small in terms of size.
Right.
Because we wanted to make sure it wouldn't drive up production costs by like a whole ton. So in terms of spacing, we actually intentionally didn't preset what our stretch goals would be. Because we had no idea what the actual momentum would be like.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first day, and we're watching those numbers come in. We're like, oh my god! Like if we set the first, like, let's say we had set the stretch goals for like 5K is the base goal, and then 10K for the like stretch goal, and then 15K or whatever. We would have blasted through all of that and like a few stretch goals within like the first 24 hours.
Yeah, we had like 25K in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, so then we'd have to figure out how
we'd be out of stretch goals.
And so it's like, okay, we want to make sure it's still fun for everyone to try to like hit stretch goals and make sure it's attainable.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking at the rate, like what was our rate of funding, and then adjust from there. So we're like, okay, we feel that given how we're going currently, it seems fair to set a stretch goal for every like 5 or every 10K, just given the rate that we're going and the number of stretch goals that we have prepared.
So you waited until after launch then to see what the like cash flow looked like and then determined the pacing of the stretch goals. Oh, so those stretch goals weren't there actually upon launch? For some reason I thought they were like predetermined.
We predetermined like what would be available.
Yes.
But the order and the specific numbers at which you unlock them was not.
Yes. The orders we had people vote on in the Kickstarter, which was another reason we wanted to wait to decide. Because if we had put them all too close together, we still want people to vote on them, but then people would be voting like 4 times in the first day and then nothing at all. So it was nice to be able to space them out and be like, all right, now we're going to vote on what the next promo characters are going to be, or which goal is next.
And was that mostly through the Kickstarter mailing list? Like the people who had backed, you would just email the people that had backed for when it was time to vote?
We use the Kickstarter updates.
Oh, okay.
So Kickstarter campaigns, there's like an ability to write updates during and after campaigns. So we'd use that to communicate with everyone.
I see. It's not a mailing list. It's just an update push, I guess.
Correct. And so there's kind of like 2 separate lists. There is the mailing list that we have, which is completely from our end.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Kickstarter, anyone who bookmarks a particular project or backs a project, they will then start to get emails for anything that's like new for that campaign.
Uh-huh.
So if we like push an update, then everyone will get an email notification if they follow the Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I am thinking about all of the email notifications I get, and this whole time I guess I hadn't noticed the difference between like an email list versus an update that I was getting from the campaign. Like it just kind of felt I got an email no matter what, so I didn't really differentiate. But I guess from your perspective as the person running the campaign, that is an important detail in terms of methodology. Okay, interesting. Wow, the biggest thing for me there, I'm like still processing it, is that you can just like update your page. Like, of course you can. That makes sense that you can.
Yeah.
So then did you launch with the stretch goals already listed, but without the funding goals attached? Or did you just hold off on posting those until after you got funded? And then you were like, oh, well, we got funded, so here are our stretch goals now.
We
more like the second one, but go ahead.
We kind of had like a skill tree, kind of.
Oh.
So if you scroll on the page to like the stretch goal section, you'll see that it kind of shows, and that was a great graphic that Avery made. Thank you.
Thank you, Avery.
Where like the little icons in the back hint at what the items might be. So you can see, for example, like little sparkles or like stars or like little pins.
Yeah.
Because that's the rewards that would have been unlocked in that region. So for example, we have like extra athletes, so like mini expansions where the stars are, because the athletes are represented by stars in the kind of iconography of the game. We have the little sparkles for like holographic, like holofoil cards, and then pins for pins.
I see it. Okay, cool. All right. I have more questions about that I guess the functionality of Kickstarter. So we talked a bit about so far. We've talked about like how you set the goals, how you set the stretch goals. I think a lot of it, just to summarize, it sounds like it's founded mostly on like literally just doing the math on like what production costs are going to look like and what like MOQ probably is, which sounds like is what determined your baseline goal. Like if we don't even hit this number, then it's not even worth doing this at all. And so that's your baseline. And then from there, it was just you had a bunch of stretch goals listed out, but the ordering of them and maybe even the specificity of what the exact goal was and the cost to get to that goal depended on the inflow of cash a day or two into your campaign, so you had a better sense of what it looked like. Okay, so then you did go all the way to 12x. You made it all into 70K. It sounds like more than what you all were expecting. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So what do you think? I know Niall, because we talked about it. Niall had a really well-developed marketing strategy already. As you can tell, even from the year leading up to the campaign, like it was a very, very precise actually and like well strategized approach. But what do you think now in hindsight, looking back at your traffic? Was this like mostly off-platform Kickstarter traffic? Was this like the Kickstarter community noticing your campaign directly on the platform? Was this, I know you had a pretty healthy Instagram audience. Was this like an Instagram thing that happened? Like what do you credit with most of the traffic for people finding your campaign, especially after getting funded within, I don't know, 16 hours, I think it was?
15 minutes.
16 minutes? It must have been so incredible that I just I remembered it as a more believable number. 16 minutes? It's literally in the thumbnail. Holy crap. Okay, yes, 16 minutes. I stand corrected. I'm assuming getting funded in 16 minutes does boost you on Kickstarter's algorithm, like if they have a homepage that people can scroll. As someone who doesn't scroll the Kickstarter homepage, I don't know what that's like, but I guess it exists. So I guess, yeah, that's the question. It's like, did you feel like it was Kickstarter? Was it off-platform? Like, where did all this traffic come from?
Definitely a combo of both. There's a lot of work done on getting people to the Kickstarter page itself. So we can't say for sure. Like, for example, you might have a number for how many people were following on Kickstarter ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Or might have been like browsing and seeing, but we don't know like how many of those were like people we like reached out to some other way, or if they were on.
If they came through the medals, etc.
So some metrics
like
in terms of like
mm-hmm.
people who came from specific links and whatnot. But our top, technically, like our top, kind of odd. Like if we break down the numbers, top one is direct traffic on Kickstarter.
May I real quick?
Yes.
Kickstarter keeps track of a lot of these numbers.
Yeah,
like we have a ton of statistics on our page that Niall's about to pull from.
Yes, yeah.
It's not like we're like, we've figured out that our top traffic.
Yeah. Are you comfortable with me sharing? I know you posted something in here. Can I share this graphic with chat, or would you prefer to just read off of it?
I mean, I think
that's fine.
I think that's fine because like all the numbers are public anyways in terms of like.
Oh, they're public. Numbers. So can you just like pull up any other Kickstarter campaign and be like, where did they get their traffic from? Or,
no, this part's not public, but overall funding and stuff is public on our page, and like I think this is fine. Like, so feel free to like share this, but pretty much what we're looking at is when you run a Kickstarter campaign, you have like a dashboard and a lot of other things that you can see on the back end. And one of the things they share is backers source. So where did the backers come from? So for us, the number one was technically direct traffic. And then two under that was ads that we ran. Then after that's a lot of like, we see like people searching Google or people discovering it on the landing page for Kickstarter. So there are actually
just sorry, pausing really quick. I'm just dropping the graphic on screen for people to look at if they would like to take a peek, but I'm gonna hide it in a moment. So keep talking.
No problem.
All right. So you were saying, sorry, it was direct traffic, and then also ads. I guess direct traffic would mean people coming directly from Kickstarter then.
Somewhere on, it's like people going directly to the page.
Oh, okay. So either a direct link to the page or... Oh, no, because discovering landing page would be the ones for people coming directly from Kickstarter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's like a specific page. And so you'll see there's other Kickstarter sources. So that second column type, you'll see external, custom, and then like external Kickstarter. It's like a lot of different like avenues within Kickstarter that someone might be like notified or directed to the page.
Yeah.
So for example, you'll see like email automated project launched followers. So that's pretty much anyone who might have like bookmarked the campaign ahead of time. And then Kickstarter sent an email out when we launched, being like, hey, this thing that you bookmarked is now live.
Right.
So we'll then click through that email and then back the campaign. And so we have like 72 people there, who came in that way.
Right. Huh. Okay. I'm sharing the sentiment in chat that Samus is saying, which is didn't expect ads to actually work, let alone this well. So I guess that's my next question is, first of all, thank you for like the utter transparency here. I really appreciate being able to see the actual numbers. I think everyone really appreciates that. But what made those ads, like what did those ads even look like?
Yes, so that I can talk on that. So for the marketing strategy for the ads can be hit or miss. So you have to really make sure that you like have a good strategy going in and test to get the best combination of like words and like image or video.
Right. And these are like Google, like digital marketing through Google AdWords or?
So Meta specifically.
Oh, through Meta. Okay.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
Oh.
So Google's also an option, but when it comes to stuff like this, like in general, the tabletop gaming space and probably just general gaming space, Meta ads is most likely where you're going to have the best return.
Interesting. Do you have a thought on like why that's the case?
Yeah, I think just broader. Okay, so I don't know why people don't go often with Google ads, because I know that I kept getting like emails like, hey, you should, like from Google, like, hey, use our credits. I'm like, I'm busy handling other stuff right now. But my understanding is that there's just a lot of people. It's like a lot of people use Instagram. A lot of people still use Facebook for better or for worse. And so it's a broad reach, and there are interest groups. So one thing you might still see on Facebook, one reason that folks might still be using Facebook is like the different groups and communities they have on there. So there is quite an active user base. So for us, we found that so long as we had the right combination of visuals, ad copy, so like text, and audience, then we were able to really get a good return on ad spend.
Right.
So that's
it's
when
like
we
as
were
focused of an audience as possible, it sounds like, so that you're not casting too wide of a net, right? So your interest groups would have been, or like, is it better to go broad or is it better to go narrow and deep?
Both.
Okay.
So one of the key things is like with running ads, just like with like figuring out your marketing strategy in general, you want to test things quite often. So I mean, we know what this game is. We have all the context, and like we're like, yeah, we can market it because we know like what people like about it. And they realize, like, oh, people don't know what this is at all. Like we need to figure out how to quickly get people to understand what is the vibe, what is it, like what would they like about it.
How do you convey the game in a single image, sort of thing?
And the thing is, you can't convey everything. So you have to pick and choose what do you want to focus on. So I feel like probably we should have like prepared some images. Sorry, like we can
get those the actual ads over.
But we're thinking, okay, cool, we could focus on the art. We could have some ads that really just emphasize and just show like, you know, fun different scenes or cool art that you've done for the game. We could do ones that focus on the comedy.
Right.
We could do ones that focus on what is the gameplay itself, or that the fact that it's easy to learn and like fun to play with friends. So we had a variety of these different kind of ads that we're testing out. And we explicitly tested. So we have like, go ahead.
Are these because they sound kind of actually just like social media posts, actually, right? Like these are things you would have, whether you were paying to promote them or not, they were posts you were going to make anyway on socials. So then was this like, were these promoted posts, or were these ads explicitly run like separate from posts? I know there's like two different ways to do it, right? Like you can post and then promote, or you can run an ad that might like be associated with a post but is not the same entity as the post itself.
Good question. So we did more from the explicit ad side, but some promoted stuff as well.
Okay.
So I feel like one of the benefits of doing an ad campaign, like with like the full like ads manager or whatever, like in Meta, is that you have full control over like how things are being pushed. Like you don't have full control, but you have more control than if you just promoted a post. So you're right though. Like when it comes to like the sounding of social media posts, we did try to, when possible, make it feel more natural.
Right.
And less of like, we are a big corporation to sell this thing to you, because
indie vibes matter. Yeah, exactly.
So we did have a few ads that were more like quote unquote professional, but we found that overall like it resonated more with people. It was just like, yeah, this looks like cool, something that I would like enjoy. And so one of the best ads that we had was actually like a video that I made that was just like a 1 minute like how to play, what is it? And that did fairly well. And then we also had like a joke image that was like an image of like a like an electric fan, like, you know, like the standard like fan you'd have running in the summer, and it had like a red arrow pointing to it saying "you,"
and then just like the box.
and then the box.
You made it as a joke, and it did really well.
Yeah, it did really well.
Actually, it just sounds like a meme format. Like you could put anything
Yeah,
where you put the box. Literally anything.
Red arrow, of course, but
Yeah.
so what I mean by like testing is that we explicitly did like, okay, this week we're going to run this exact image and this exact like text, but try it with different audiences and see how it goes. It's like, okay, like people in this country or people with this specific like interest, is doing well. With these people, it's not. So let's like switch out. Okay, now we know these audiences things tend to work out. Let's switch the image up. Let's try like 4 different images, see how they go. Rinse and repeat for like all the different aspects until we finally got to like
Narrow it down
to a few sets of things that we knew would work. And once we knew that, then we started increasing how much we were actually like spending on ads leading up to the campaign.
Oh, so like lower ad spend up front just to kind of feel out what audiences it was like hitting with basically, and then using that once you have those niches, then putting more money deeper into the niches. That makes so much sense. Were the ads run even in the pre-campaign phase then? Like while you just had the reservation page up, were you already running ads?
Yes, but not too early.
Okay.
Because if you start running them too early, then people will be like, I've been seeing ads for this forever. Like, when's it coming out? And like, I don't blame them. Like, I would do the same thing.
Okay.
So we started running a couple of months before the campaign, at least to do the tests. I think we started doing tests in like February or March.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we probably landed on like the ads we wanted to run by like a month before the campaign, such that we could start just increasing, like scaling the ads.
Okay, so not longer than like a month or two before, probably is what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
probably no longer than like 2, maybe 3 months leading up to the campaign.
I'd say 2.
But like you can do tests earlier, but
Right,
like
because they're smaller batches, so it's not even really getting out there that much. Okay, that is a really where did you learn all this?
Good questions. So it's a combination. So a lot of what I've learned is through like a service called like LaunchBoom. You can partner with them and they'll help you make sure that your Kickstarter starts with a boom.
Oh,
so,
I
like,
see.
They're really helpful. But I will say a lot, like the information I'm sharing is not like proprietary. Like this is like information you can find online as well. We were doing a lot of research ahead of time, trying to figure things out. So
You were doing a lot of research ahead of time. I was still drawing the cards at this point.
that's fair. Like anything that I did from LaunchBoom was after I started working with them. But like that was like September of like last year or so. So even before then, that was just all me looking up resources online and thinking, how can we get things out there and just doing stuff? But when it came to the actual ad strategy, they were very helpful in helping us figure things out. They don't do it for you. It's like a set of courses and like a forum where it's just everything is consolidated, and they have like a program you can like kind of step through templates and stuff.
Oh, wait, sorry, this is not LaunchBoom? This is something else?
This is LaunchBoom.
Oh, this is LaunchBoom. Okay, 'cause I was on their page and they said they were an agency, so then I was like, oh, I guess an agency does it for you. But then you're saying they actually have like a almost like a course that you can work through instead.
So things like, it's not like an ad agency where they'll just make the assets and do everything for you. It's like a course and a forum. With
And you
like
felt like it was actually helpful, like it wasn't just because I think there's a lot of like it feels scammy, right? Like there's so many resources out there where they're just trying to get you to give them some money for some stuff that doesn't actually do anything.
I will say this one for sure though was very helpful. Like you can still do well without using their services.
Right.
But if you want like a nice, just everything's consolidated and they have like different milestones you can kind of walk through and they'll provide feedback. That was very helpful. But I think honestly, the most helpful thing was the community.
Yeah.
So even outside of that, just indie communities in general, like people like to help each other out.
Yeah.
Definitely take advantage of that and contribute back. Like you should take the mentorship, like ask questions, search to see if other people have asked those exact same questions. You'll find a lot. And yeah, go ahead.
There were so many times where we would have a question about, not even about the ads or the Kickstarter specifically, but about like production.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, I wonder if someone asked about this on LaunchBoom, and we'd like go and there's someone like actively asking the same question. So it was really nice to be able to, you could speak to this more than I can, but to be able to talk with other people who were about to do their Kickstarter, or maybe did their Kickstarter last year, but are still a part of the community helping other indies out.
For sure. Like, it's definitely really nice to be able to see other people on the same journey and be like, hey, what do you guys use for this thing? Or like, how'd you approach this? Or it's like, oh, I just finished. Like, I ended up doing this. Here's, how I did. And so it's just that knowledge share is so helpful.
Yeah.
If you can learn like what not to do as well.
Yeah. I feel like learning any new skill, I guess in this case, this would qualify, any new skill, any new hobby you're getting into, like the hardest part is really finding in the multitude of resources out there, like which ones are the actually good resources and communities that you should be tapping into. So this seems like a really valuable community to be part of, actually. Is it expensive to join? Like, do you have to...
So with that, I don't think I can technically disclose like how much, just like from the terms we signed.
you have to like apply then, it sounds like?
So you reach out to them or they reach out to you, and you have like an intro call to see if it'd be a good fit. Because they also kind of do like a vetting thing where if they don't believe like your project would be a good fit for Kickstarter or Indiegogo or whatever, they might decide not to move forward with you.
It's like an incubator.
So they see potential. They'll be like, okay, cool. Like we can provide our services for X amount of money.
Okay.
But it was well worth it for us. Like we were definitely able to make up for how much we paid to join the community and whatnot.
Right.
Like we definitely made up for that in like how much extra funding we got through Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, Sarasena has a question that I will get to. That's actually one of the questions on my list. So hold that thought. Thank you for dropping it in chat. Great. Thank you for sharing that with us. Is there anything else on your, and we talked a lot about marketing strategy, especially in the pre-launch strategy, which I'm realizing is maybe the bulk of it, actually. I didn't think of it that way, which it makes sense because the whole campaign is only like 2-3 weeks long, right? Like it was pretty short end to end.
Yeah, it's a month.
Do you get to control how long the campaign runs for? And is it, like, do you benefit from having it be shorter versus having it be longer? It sounds like you don't want to be too long. Like there's a sweet spot in here. So then how do you figure that out for your game in particular?
Good question. So yes, you can control the duration of a Kickstarter campaign. 30 days is pretty standard, so most people go with that. For going shorter, the reasoning to do like 15 days, for example, is it puts more pressure on people to be like, oh, I have to do this now because it's going to be over, like, in a short amount of time. But it's a harder sell for like first-time Kickstarters.
Yeah.
If it's for like a well-established company, like where everyone's like, oh, like I don't know, like name big like game publisher here, and they do a 15-day campaign, then that might work because people are like, I know who these people are, I trust their games, I love their games, I'm a big fan, I'm gonna go now. But it's like, I don't know what this is, I'm taking a chance. They only have 15 days, why are they pressuring me? So but on the flip side, if you go longer, then it might just drag out and you might not see that bump up again, because the hope might die down.
Okay.
I would go as far as to say that this is all news to me. I didn't do anything other than a 30-day Kickstarter. I don't think I've ever heard of a Kickstarter that didn't run for exactly 30 days. Yeah. So I think that speaks to like how much of a sweet spot that is.
It's a standard. Yeah. Okay. Like a very well-established standard. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay, is there anything else around the market? I guess most of our discussion has actually been more on like digital marketing, social media marketing. What other considerations did you bring into your marketing strategy as far as like style notes, for example, or like other things beyond the digital marketing conversation we've been having? What else factored into your marketing strategy that you felt like was impactful for your success?
How do I phrase it? We're very fortunate to be connected with a lot of different communities. And so just for some background for people who don't know, like, I guess who we are.
We are what we do.
So you want to go first and then?
I'm Skylar and I do art. I have a lot of friends in the art and gaming spaces. And so, which is where I met Niall as well. I mean, I have a much smaller pedigree than yours. But, I feel like for both of us, and now you can talk about yours in a moment, I feel like for both of us being active in online spaces already, having a lot of friends who work in animation, who work in game design. We have friends who work in board game design already before we started doing this. And so all of that really helps when you have like communities of people who met for other reasons. Oh man, we're really stretching it now, but there was something called Blaseball that happened during the pandemic lockdown, and it was an online fantasy baseball simulator.
Fantasy baseball.
It's all over the place. It was baseball, and you bet on a team, and players would die, and the whole thing. It's fine. But I met a lot of friends through that who do art and work in all sorts of different fields, because the game itself was all text. There were no images, but there were hundreds of these baseball players, and the community that arose around it while everyone was locked in their house because of the global pandemic was ravenous, and people were coming up with designs for the players and comics and art and stuff. And so it was fun to meet a bunch of different artists from all walks of life, all of whom were out of work for the moment because we were all stuck in our homes, and just got to connect with a lot of really wonderful people. And even before that, me and Niall met in an artist Discord called Sunflower Station, which is also where we met Avery. Hey again, Avery. And so that is, for a long time, we've been a part of artist communities online.
Yeah, and speaking to that, like, how does this tie into like marketing strategy? Is just like being able to have word of mouth through friends, who then themselves have connections to other like groups or like more people is really helpful, especially when it's this sort of like we're working with this.
Yeah.
Like, we have a lot of friends in like fandom spaces and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
like I brought it to a convention and played it with my friends at SakuraCon, right? And it was the greatest party in the lobby ever, and people were coming to be like, "What are you guys doing?" Like, that's exactly like, part of it. Yeah.
Exactly, and so in my case too, like I guess I haven't been as active lately, but some folks might know me as Harpsona. Like I do harp covers of like video game and anime music.
They're so
I post
good.
on YouTube. Thank you. And record for soundtracks and stuff as well. And so through that, I have a lot of like friends who are just like incredibly like skilled and talented musicians and just like awesome people who work in the space. Not that board games have music typically, but just like in the video game space and things like that.
Ours does.
We can talk about that too. But so we also, part of the marketing, I don't say part of the marketing, just something that happened to also work with marketing, is anyone we worked with would also be excited to share that they're working on tournament art in some way. So whenever you work with like an artist or musician or like
an animation team,
for example, like they get to be a part of this cool thing too. And so that's another way to like spread word of mouth through people who have been involved in one way or the other.
Yeah. I think like I kind of came of age in the tech community, but a lot of people in tech are always harping on about networking and things like that, and it always like feels really icky, but at the end of the day when you think about it, what they actually mean is you should have a life outside of work and you should have friends and hobbies, and when you have friends and hobbies, that naturally you have an established community, and that community is your network. And they just like use a really icky vibe when they talk about it for some reason, because it feels like transactional, right? But like it doesn't have to be like that, and I think most of us don't experience it that way. But at the end of the day, like that's what the network is. It's for this moment when you're about to make something really cool and you want to help get the word out there, and people, I think, can tell when you have something that's like it's genuine and you're excited by it and it comes from a place of like authenticity and sincerity. I think it resonates kind of organically through your networks that way. Yeah. So I guess that really did work in your case also. I mean, that's how we know each other right now, is like through music stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So we haven't actually worked together before, but we met like online through these communities. So
yes, and we still should.
Yeah, we should. I would love some kind of a harp vocal duo situation. It'd be so fun. Great. Okay, let me see. Was there anything else on? Oh yeah.
No, I was just gonna say when you're actively doing it, also you're not thinking like I'm networking right now. I'm making. It's just like, oh, you work on Kiana Mai's
Pretty
pilot. Pretty please, I want to be a magical girl. Yeah. And they were like, hey, do you want to be in our like trailer for our board game? They were like, sure. And so then it's just friends doing projects online.
Yeah. Like we're kind of just having a good time, and like that's the part that matters. Yeah. Okay. Was there anything else on the marketing side that we should touch on? Do you feel like that was important? Like, we talked a little bit about how you like pitch things. Like the elevator pitch is always a really hard thing to nail. Someone walks up to your booth and they're like, "What is this?" And you have to like get their attention in 10 seconds. How did you hone in on that kind of messaging?
Trial and error.
Yeah, repetition. We have had to do it in an elevator a couple times now, which was very fun.
Literally in an elevator.
So one thing we try to do is there's a lot of benefits to going out to these events and just showing your game and like playtesting to people.
Right.
One is also figuring out how do people view the game and what do they like about it. And what also is not immediately obvious that you should verbalize. So, for example, one thing we noticed over time is like we used to say, okay, like the whole, like you are a coach, coaching your team of student athletes for the big game at the end of the season. You know, one thing we realized over time is that, okay, like what sport are we playing? It's like, oh, or we're assuming we're only playing one sport. But once we're like, and you'll find out what the sport is halfway through. Once we added that little extra part, people were like, oh, and so like we
That's
learned
how
that,
I
like,
was explaining the game to my friends too. Like that was clearly the hook. You started to see people's eyes light up when you said that line. They're like, "That's chaotic." Like I like that. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess so much of my questions, I feel like the answer has basically been like, you just have to throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall and like pay a lot of attention to what sticks, right? Like you're not just haphazardly doing it, you're doing it with like strategic intention. The same goes for the elevator pitch. That makes sense. Let's see, is there anything we want to cover on, we talked about mailing lists, influencers, we just talked about pitch. Animation and art, I think, was also something we maybe haven't touched on as much, like determining the art style and vibe of the game. Were there like design iterations that you went through, or was it truly just like those doodles on the index card are what stuck?
So I can speak to this. So can you find an example of a character in both versions real quick? It's just my art style.
Okay.
When I first came up with the idea for the game, and when we were first working on it, in my head, I pictured a much more like traditionally anime-looking style. I was like, okay, we should get some artists who do anime-style stuff. I feel like something that hits that like late '90s to 2010 era of anime would be a really cool look.
It's a bit of a nostalgia vibe, yeah.
Yeah. And then I drew the original index cards, and everyone who played it was like, no, just do it like this. Like, change it as little as possible. I was like, all right. My style is definitely somewhat anime inspired, but I don't think my style looks necessarily like, is not what immediately comes to mind when you think anime. It's just...
It is very like Western cartoon influence also, yeah.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And so, I see you grabbed some examples. So just as some examples, for some of the index cards, this was like, as Lucian Bolter, this is the original art that I had drawn. Now it's reformatted to be in the Doodle edition. And then ultimately I kept a lot of the vibes of that, but, refined the design and made it an actual character. And then for some other examples, Yuki Zaruru here, this is the original index card art of a mascot for like a Hot Springs town team. And then this is the final design, which is almost a one-to-one recreation of the original card.
Yeah, but there are like aspects that make it more mascot character-like, right?
That's true. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I just did the doodles just because I was, in a feverish state of 48 hours to get the game ready for my friends.
It was less than 48.
You're right. It was 24 hours of designing the game, 24 hours of actually drawing the cards. Not even.
Cracked. You're so cracked. It's not normal. Kudos.
So I was rushing through that. I just was like, we assigned like a vibe for each character, an archetype to fit. Like, oh, this is the rival character. This is, the airheaded one. This is the jerk. And so I quickly did an index card doodle of each of these archetypes, just like one word archetype. Okay, here's my doodle. And I would say that like 75% of the final card art, the characters, like if you look at their Doodle Edition version, it still looks like them. Like I just refined those designs.
It's a little finessed, but the base is the same.
So quickly. Yeah. Some of them, like the characters like Craig Williams, Actual Baby, BONK DENTS, Mr. Bear, a lot of the joke characters are almost one-to-one with their original design. Like,
Actual Baby has been my favorite with every playthrough. Like, Actual Baby always gets up to some nonsense. It's always the baby.
I didn't want to overload the game with silly characters because I wanted them to really stand out, but there are like a solid 6 characters where every time they show up,
that's my goal.
Like everyone is focused on this character. If
BONK DENTS is good. I agree.
The athlete, someone's dad out on the table. Everyone
I love someone's dad.
I need to find.
What a guy.
But yeah, I wanted to design the characters so that they look like a cohesive whole. But first of all, I wanted everyone to be someone's favorite. But there are definitely ones that are going to be the favorite of more people than others, and I didn't want to overdo those. I wanted it to be mostly student athletes just doing sports, and then a handful of the weirdos that really stand out.
Yeah.
Like Cat or Actual Baby.
Yeah, I guess to summarize, it sounds like so you like have a really clear sense of your own art style, and a lot of this was just like hitting full send on your existing art style. Someone's dad is doesn't he play as an event card? Like he's not even an athlete, but he attaches like an athlete. Love that guy.
Quick explanation is that there's 4 types of cards. Athlete cards are the ones that are the athletes. And then when you're playing and you're training, you have a hand of episode cards because you're like building an anime together with your episodes.
Got little play buttons on the back.
Yeah, so this is the episode where you draw them. Typically, it's like, for example,
grab hanging out.
Like hanging out. Like this is going to increase your teamwork. But you also have a chance of pulling someone's dad, which is just a whole other character.
He just joined your team.
Up.
We have seen at conventions and stuff, we've seen someone's dad win so many student sports games. It is crazy.
Somehow, it turns out your dad is actually pretty important.
Yeah.
And I think because of the way that you encourage like narrative playing, that I don't know if you ever played like the anime pitching game that exists out there, where there's like a bunch of different. It's actually really fun. So I'll search for it and send it to you guys after. But there's an anime pitch deck kind of game where you just draw cards and then you have to, I think, choose 2 or 3 of them, and then like incorporating these 3 cliches or archetypes or whatever it may be, you have to pitch an anime to like the table, which is the rest of the people playing the game, and then they vote after a round of pitching on like who the best pitch is. And it just like really reminded me of that, because it means you have to tell a story with whatever it is you have, you better make it work. And that happens a lot in this game also, which also makes it easy to get attached to the characters, because now there are stories, like it's not just BONK DENTS, it's like BONK DENTS and the story of how he became a magical girl and then had an evil like twin after which he was consumed by an actual baby. Like these are things that happen. Oh yeah, and someone's dad was there to watch it all happen, right? Like these kinds of stories feel goofy, but there's just like such a charm to the narrative, I think, and because it came from you, the player, and your friends at the table with you, that it makes them memorable, even if they are arguably like they're all stereotypes and archetypes, and that was the point of your design, is that you hit full send on that. You were like, they will be as stereotypical as possible, that they don't feel shallow despite that, and it's because of the narrative. So yeah, it's really cool. I think these are all things that like it's not easy to answer the question of like how do you design, like artistically design a game that sticks with people. These are just things, I think again, it's like spaghetti to the wall, right? Like this is something that through years of doing art, you've been able to finesse your own style. You played a lot of board games, you have a sense of what you enjoy in a game, and you put all of those things into this game. It was like the culmination of years of cultural experience, really. Did you have something?
This is something that you brought up actually, was like a while back. It's an interesting thing for a lot of like tabletop games and just board games in general. They're usually not super character focused.
Oh yes.
You don't actually usually have like a large cast of characters that are like names that you really get like attached to. There are a few where they're out there, but for the most part, it's a general like class. Like, oh, okay, this is like the detective, or this is whatever. Or if it's like a specific cast, it's like smaller. We have 40 student athletes plus someone's dad. And
I'll talk on that a little bit if I may. So before we started working on Tournament Arc, we hadn't played a lot of board games.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, to be perfectly honest, because I originally envisioned it as like a video game maybe after an anime, but I was like, well, I'm just one guy again. It came to a point where I designed the game fully removed from like the state of indie board games right now. I played some. I played House on the Hill. I played a couple others here and there. But like, I really went into this just like, this would be a fun game. I'm going to make this game. And then later we found out how like other board games would handle the same mechanics or the same issues. But I wanted to make, because something I love the way board games look. I love going to a board game store, but I found that it was hard for me to find one that would catch my eye. Especially just off the shelf. There's a game called Wingspan, which I love. It's very fun.
Wingspan, yeah.
And I had seen it in stores before, but I wasn't sold on it because it just has a big bird on the cover. And I'm like, that's fun, but like I don't know what. Like I had to play it before I was able to be like, oh, this is really good.
And
I really
the story
like that.
behind the game sells it as well. When you like know how the creator came into it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanted to make a game that has a vibrant cast of characters who look interesting, who you want to interact with. It's not just the players are the characters, which I think a lot of board games do. Like, these are characters that someone could get really attached to. I hope people get really attached to them. And I hope people tell their own stories about them. I'm hoping that once the game is like really like out and in everybody's homes, we get tagged on social media for like interactions that people found really funny and that sort of thing. And so it's a fun needle to thread because I want these characters to feel fleshed out and three-dimensional, but I still want people to tell their own stories. And so I've worked. Each of the 40 athlete appears on at least 4 of the episode cards in some sort of situation, and so you get to see them interacting with each other and the environment in different sports.
This world building.
Exactly. We're working on a lore book that was one of our add-ons for the Kickstarter that a lot of people went for. We're actively working on it right now, and part of the conceit of the lore book is I don't want to put anything set in stone for these characters. I want people to tell their own stories, but people want a lore book, and I still want to give them something. So for each athlete, we have 3 different bios for them, and they contradict each other. It's just like, pick your favorite.
Choose your own lore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
So I
cute.
guess I'll just show a couple examples for folks who haven't seen any of the episode cards really. But
for
example, like Snowball Fight's a cute one where you can see like a lot of them interacting and personality shining through. So other simple ones too, like Love Triangle. Like, sure, why not? Just have like a few different start shipping from the characters and not.
Yeah.
We have sports ones too, like standard sports training things, but just want to show we also have I really like Exam Week. Let me pull that one up actually.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, it's near the bottom there.
Yeah.
We wanted to have a bunch of different sports related things, a bunch of school related things, the kind of things you'd see in a sports anime, and then there's like a solid group of silly ones that are just meant to kind of. I think I know what you're looking for already.
Well,
No, that was perfect.
Okay.
We've got like Raised by Clowns.
Right.
No
More Bones is very good.
But yeah, I wanted it to be the things you would expect to see in a sports anime, a couple genre, like different genre things like Magical Girl Transformation, or the card that is called Our Team Captain Got Hit by a Truck and Transported to a Fantasy World.
Yes, the isekai card. As an isekai fanatic, that one is one of my favorites for sure.
Art-wise, I think it's my favorite card in the game.
It literally has like the K truck.
Oh, here's No More Bones, by the way.
No more bones. No more bones for BONK DENTS.
Yeah.
Everyone
One too many bonks.
DENTS.
So funny.
We keep mentioning BONK DENTS. I'll bring him up.
Yeah.
Just for context. This is BONK DENTS.
BONK DENT's Japanese name was like Dekoboko.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people don't know for Dekoboko, it's like the kanji that kind of like look like Tetris pieces. It's like concave and convex.
Yeah,
but over
exactly.
here, he's so beat up. He's like all like
He is concave and convex.
He is concave and convex, but this is the isekai card.
Yeah.
Which, closer just so you can see the artwork.
It might
There's a lot
blur.
going on. Oh, yeah.
I think like there, but there's a lot of fun ones. Or like the Evil Clone, I like this one a lot too.
Evil Clone is fun too.
For
It
people
gives
who don't
Monkey
know,
King.
For people who don't know the game, it is 150 cards, and every single one of those cards has unique art, except for filler arc. There are 2 cards that are filler arc, and they have the exact same art because I thought that would be funny. So it's
But opposite
149
stats, I think.
cards.
Was that right? Yeah. There was something that was like the same art, but there were 2 of them, and they have opposite statistics on the.
Oh, the lightning strike.
It's the lightning strike. Okay.
Yeah. So there's one happy lightning strike that gives +3 body, and one unhappy lightning strike that gives -3 body. You're right. That is another example of it being very similar.
I love that one.
But
Because
otherwise,
I'm always like, yay, and then no.
my hope when we did that was that someone would play one thinking it was the other one and
Yeah.
screw themselves over. And we have seen that happen, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
I almost did it. Yep. Almost fell for it. While we're on this topic, someone was asking, I think it was Avery. Avery was asking for your 2 favorite cards for each of you. Do you have a favorite
Well,
athlete? Or, yeah.
I'm going to get my favorite athletes out. I know them off the top of my head because it's BONK DENTS and...
Sorry,
Oh,
Senna
bro.
says, I was hit by a truck and transported to a fantasy world, and now I'm just grilling with the Elven King.
Okay, my favorite athletes are BONK DENTS, my beautiful injured boy, and Haru Grove, who is horrible, and I love her. I really, really like how much personality I was able to put into Haru there.
Mhm.
She's not one of the like very funny ones, but I think the fact that she's bending a golf club really gets me.
You can hear her like Ojo-sama voice in your head. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
I
constant.
personally picture her being very self-assured and a terrible sport, and I love that.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. I'm trying to find.
Who are you looking for?
I'm thinking real quick because like there's a lot of great ones. Just from a character standpoint, I feel like I'll just put it like a few random sampling. Okay, my sleeper favorite is actually Moss Apnea. So they're a bit unassuming, but they're always sleepy, and like the way that Sky drew them in every episode card is just so sweet.
They've got some great expressions.
Yeah, I love their expressions. And then of course, who could not love Mary Beth Mary?
Ah, yes, Beth Mary.
And Craig Williams.
And Craig Williams!
Another fan favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there was someone who made their dating profile a photo of a cabbage, and Craig Williams always reminds me of that person. Apparently they got a lot of matches. I think it was Tinder.
Yeah, who wouldn't? Cabbage is good.
Gotta swipe right on the cabbage. It's really important.
Do you have a favorite episode card?
Favorite episode? There's so many good ones. Like, okay.
I think mine is our team captain occupied a truck and transported to a fantasy world.
That's a very good one.
Very.
I'll give a special call out to Bear Attack.
Bear Attack, yeah.
Bear Attack!
Bear Attack is very fun because it shows our character Mr. Bear attacking BONK DENTS, but my favorite part of this is that BONK DENTS is already in the full body cast before this happens, and I think that's a really important thing to note.
Right.
We've got the we do have Moss in there with a Moss.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Moss? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Moss.
With the big eye. It's adorable.
So I think my favorite, Moss, is the back of exam week where, oh my god.
Exam Week's probably your favorite episode.
I think this is my favorite one, where you can see so much
that is Moss.
personality happening. For you gotta cover your face too, so
okay.
it stops focusing on. Okay, there you go.
There
but
it
you can
is.
see Moss is kind of just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Michelle's like dying. Emily's just nonchalantly in the back, and Abacus is just like.
That was a fun one to draw, but it did make me draw desks, and I don't like that.
You don't like drawing desks?
It's tough to draw desks in perspective. It's frustrating.
Every
stuff.
artist has their kryptonite. I guess for you it's desks.
For me, it's backgrounds in general. I had to learn how to draw backgrounds to make this game, and it was a process. I'm really
New
happy
skill
with how it
acquired,
turned out.
though. Congratulations. All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to cut to our final two questions, if that's all right with you all. So it was one question was a Sorry Santa that asked it earlier. It was about platform choice. So we talked earlier. Our very first question today was so why did you crowdfund versus all these other options? And so since you've decided on crowdfunding, from there, how did you narrow to specifically Kickstarter, given the proliferation of other crowdfunding platforms there are out there? And I think they all have different terms and conditions and shares that they take from your fundraising. So for you, how did that calculus work out?
There are a lot now, and they all have their specific audiences and pros and cons. So I will say one of the benefits of Kickstarter is it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And it has broad appeal. A lot of people know what Kickstarter is. So even if you're not in the indie space that much, you've probably heard of Kickstarter, but you might not have heard Indiegogo, for example, or BackerKit and all these other things. And so
I see.
May I just jump in? One thing that we noted very early on with our game is that the target of our game is more so people who are not already dialed into the board game space.
Yes.
It's because we are anime fans and also board game fans, but there are a lot of anime fans who aren't, and I feel like our target audience is more so con goers, I guess I would say. I hope that, a group of cosplayers comes back to the hotel room after a day at the con and play a few rounds of tournament.
Literally exactly what I was doing, yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like Nyla was saying, Kickstarter has huge name recognition. Mm-hmm. People know what Kickstarter is even if they've never done a Kickstarter. And so that really helped make sure that the transition from people playing our game where we're demoing it to being able to back the game was as smooth as possible.
Yeah. Because we also suspected that there would be some portion of our audience who had never supported a Kickstarter campaign before. And so we had to make sure that we tried to make things as simple or as clear as possible. And if we tried to go with another platform, it probably would have been an extra hurdle for us.
Yeah.
But you make a good point about cuts and stuff like that. Kickstarter it's fine. I believe it was 5% just for the Kickstarter portion, and then of course there's payment processor cuts as well, which is standard everywhere. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, any sort of cut that they're taking, it's well worth it for having the platform to actually use and get the funds.
I see. That it kind of sounds like Kickstarter actually has probably the largest community out of all of the options that exist out there also.
I think broadest community.
Broadest.
But I know
Okay.
the other ones have really hardcore communities sometimes.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
Backer Kid, I've noticed is like very devoted. The Backer Kid people are very devoted. Yeah.
Exactly. Like if you have like a very specific thing that you know, like a certain platform, like it will do well on there, you probably should go for that platform.
Interesting.
But if it's something that's pretty new and might be more of like a broader audience, then Kickstarter's probably a good choice.
I see. It's kind of like the generic choice, I guess, which sounds kind of negative, but like for lack of a better term, it's the standard choice. Maybe is another way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Samus, Backer Kit. Backer Kit is the name of the other platform that I was naming earlier. All right. And then my final question for you all. I don't think I saw any others. Call it out in chat if I missed your question. Final question otherwise is, let's say, I think for myself, I introduced this stream as like, I was thinking about doing a Kickstarter and I am very overwhelmed. Help! For someone who is in this headspace, what is your number one tip for their first Kickstarter? Like, we've said a lot of things today. What's like the number one thing you think everyone should take away?
Time and get feedback early and often. So like seek feedback, whether that's like from friends, be like, hey, like I'm thinking of describing it this way. How does that sound? Or like, does it sound fun to you? Or like, how's this look? Be honest with me. And just getting that feedback early and often will help you like get closer to where you want to be. If you hold off to the very end to like start getting feedback, you might have like an unpleasant surprise and be like, oh my God, like I'm stressed to like redo all this stuff now. But if you're like incrementally just getting better and better each time, like that will like help out the whole time.
Mm-hmm. So allow the time to do that kind of iterative back and forth. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think what I'd say, especially given everything that we've said today, just to reiterate that, like, doing the Kickstarter feels like the season finale of season 1 of a 2-season show. Just to use the anime metaphors we've been talking about.
Yeah.
It's not where everything starts. Everything culminates at the Kickstarter, and then you have to do the thing afterwards, which is season 2, which is where we're starting off now. But like, there's so much that goes into it before you begin. Like, in order to have the best success you can, you want to be so ready before that Kickstarter even starts. Like, we had the full game done before the Kickstarter started, which I think is also not something everyone will be able to do, but like maybe if you're doing a game and you need to hire artists, if you don't do art yourself, then you wouldn't have the full game done. But I do art. I was able to get everything drawn ahead of time. We had Avery doing the templates and everything for ages beforehand. Niall was already working all the back end stuff. And so we were able to, like, Tournament Arc is finished. Tournament Arc is a finished game. It's not ready for purchase yet because now we're working with the manufacturer to make sure that everything is up to our standards and to make sure that we're going to be able to get it everywhere it needs to go. And that is what the money from the Kickstarter is covering for us. But if the Kickstarter failed and we only had enough to make one copy of the game, we'd be able to do that. It would all be ready. And I think that was also very helpful for us, that the Kickstarter was not the be-all, end-all of whether or not this project that we've put so much time and so much money into happens.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. These are great tips. Thank you very much for taking like a whole, honestly, 2 hours of your time to make this possible. And just so chat knows, whenever I run these kinds of interview type streams, I guess, podcasts, whatever you want to call them, I always have like a document with questions and I ask my guests to annotate however much they want, if they want to like plan a little bit what their answers are. And these two have just beautiful, copious notes, detailed bullet points. It was just, I appreciate all of the effort. Yeah. Niall's a very like, I don't have a good adjective for it, but you're a very like focused person, and I find that incredibly admirable.
I also find that incredibly admirable.
All right, I guess we are good. Usually I would raid after a stream, but today I think we'll just call it here and we'll let everyone disperse. Thank you everyone again for all of your attention, your questions. And thank you, Niall and Sky, for making the time to answer everything today. I will probably come into your DMs and come harass you if I actually go around doing this, so I hope that's okay also. I apologize in advance. All right, before we go, do you have any links that you want to share with chat in terms of like, I know you said that it's not like publicly available for purchase just yet, but if somebody wanted to stay in touch and know when it goes live?
I would just recommend going to Kickstarter right now and then just typing in Tournament Arc. You'll recognize the art style and everything.
Yeah, I have the link open. Let me drop it.
So The game is technically, like, you can order it now through the Kickstarter.
Yes.
So we have late pledges enabled so that folks can still, like, reserve a copy. And once we have all the manufacturing and stuff done, that will be sent to the people who back it.
Yes.
So it's essentially a way to support the Kickstarter campaign after it's done. So anyone here, feel free. You're welcome to...
If you like what we've been saying and you want to try out our game, get it for yourself.
Yep, and all the extras and add-ons and stuff are there too. So for example, the Doodle Edition, you can get that as well.
Yes. And also we'll be at Anime NYC.
Right, yeah. If you're going to
if you're watching this and
you
in
can
the
go
area,
bother these two in person. Win a medal.
Exactly.
I think biting the medal is my favorite thing that everybody does. Bite it to assert victory.
I can't believe that was your friend. We used that picture in so much of our marketing.
Yeah, it was the Mob Psycho. I think it was 3 of them, right? They were all like in the body improvement club outfits. It was so cute.
Yeah.
It's funny because my friend is a particularly like diminutive Asian woman, and I was just like, it's really funny seeing you in that outfit with the medal. It's perfectly in the spirit of this game. All right. Well, I'm gonna do my stream outro, I guess. So whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, have a wonderful time of day. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you to our 2 guests for taking the time to be here. And I guess we're out. Thank you. Bye bye. Catch you all next time.